Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where it's time to talk about some baby metal. Everyone, show your baby metal merch. Baby metal merch. Baby metal merch. You've got the flag behind you, Neon. Quick, baby metal. There we go.
Oh, wrong
All right,
albums.
but it's not just baby metal. It's baby metal appearing on. All right, I said it's not just baby metal. Baby metal appearing on a song by Bloodywood, which I
Don't have any
believe is
Bloodywood
called
albums.
people in my community keep on telling me that the song should be called Bake Off. so,
Bake Off.
I'm pretty sure that's not the appropriate translation, but everyone in my community is telling me just call it Bake Off, and that'll be near enough. So, Bake Off by Bloodywood featuring Babymetal. We've all, I believe, done reactions to this song now. So, thoughts, gentlemen?
Neon, you
You
want
want,
to
me,
give
you want me to take this one first?
Yes.
All right, okay.
I don't know what you
Leon
think.
usually lets Benedict go first and sits there biding his time, deciding what kind of response he's going to give. So let's just throw Leon to the front.
We're gonna throw me under the bus this time. Personally, I absolutely love this. I've been a big fan of Bloodywood for a long time. Been reacting to Bloodywood actually when there were only two of them before they brought in the rapper and made him a permanent member. I do forget the name, so I do apologize. But Bloodywood, yeah, absolutely amazing. They are very.
He's an actual rapper.
He's an actual rapper, yeah. Well,
Okay.
he does some singing and stuff. They mostly brought him in for like some rap parts, but some parts songs. He's the bold one, and he was in so many songs they just thought, fuck it, we're gonna keep you in. So he's the one that speaks in English when he's doing the singing, compared to the other singer who is the screamer who sings in his own language, which I think is a really nice contrast. I feel like that obviously widens the target audience as well, having obviously an English speaker in the band. But
Wouldn't have guessed he's a rapper, because to me he sounds like a metal singer who raps. Because he has such a gritty voice.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he does have a very unique voice, I think, but he has some really nice flows. But the way that he does it is kind of cool. But you also got to remember as well, like English isn't his first language, so he doesn't flow probably as well in English as probably he would do in his own language. But he does an incredible job. For what it is. It just seems to go well with metal as well, the way that his accent is. I really love it. I think bringing him in permanently was a massive great plan for them. And it kind of now, a couple of years on, it's so hard to see Bloodywood without him in it now. So he's, I feel like they made the right decision now for their type of songs. But I remember them when they were just like a couple of YouTubers, really small channel back then. Now they've blown up. They had their rise, their mass amount of popularity. Then they started touring around the world like a real band. They still do primarily YouTube stuff, but releasing their albums now. But I think for them having Babymetal of all bands coming on and featuring onto one of their songs, I mean that's like the height of where you can go, surely. For them, it's been an absolutely amazing rise for them. And their music, you know what you're going to get with Bloodywood. You know you're going to get pulsating, like fast metal, brutal breakdowns, and just like a really good, authentic mix of metal mixed with like Indian, like oriental kind of flair to it as well. They kind of remind me of like a really hardcore metal version of Wagaki Band is for Japan. They have that metal infused like classical thing tone to them, but in like notched up to like 11 in the case of Bloodywood, with lots of screams, which I know Howard's a big fan of. So yeah, to hear them with
It can work.
it can work, and I think to hear them with Babymetal, I absolutely love this. I think it was the best of both worlds. I think this song really highlighted the strengths of Bloodywood without sacrificing any of their sound, and Babymetal coming in and really complimenting them actually. And what I'm really happy about is they don't sacrifice either band. Like Babymetal comes in, does their parts, and it sounds distinctly Babymetal, complementing what is already Bloodywood's like amazing sort of natural sound anyway. It just felt like two bands not sacrificing anything about themselves coming in just to make an amazing song that really fits really well. Personally, I was blown away, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and I say that this Babymetal have done so many collabs this year with various different artists. Some of them have been absolutely amazing, other less so. Lucifer. But for me personally, I'm going to call it now. This one's my favorite
From all the collabs. Okay.
from all the collabs. I just feel like this one's a really good song. Kind of comparing it to like the Warning and Bandmade, who I thought was two artists that came in, and the song was just okay.
Howard Heine.
I thought this was a song of two bands that came in and their distinct sounds was really okay. I'd like to hear what Howard has to say about this one, because I feel like if you're not a fan of Bloodywood coming into this one, it might be not to your taste.
Well, if I may go first, because I am not a fan of Bloodywood, because I'm not familiar with Bloodywood. This is the first time I have heard Bloodywood, but I still really like the song. But that's why I wanted to ask you, Neon. You seem to know a little bit more about Bloodywood. Would you say, let's say, apart from the vocals, just the instrumentals, would you say this is like a typical Bloodywood song, or would you say it's like a mix between Bloodywood and Babymetal style? Just speaking musically.
Typical Bloodywood, maybe less in the
Okay.
like the Indian aesthetic here,
Because it doesn't feel too far off from Babymetal also, to my ears.
well, like I said, I think that is part and part kind of like the charm of having Babymetal in here, because I don't think Babymetal sacrifices anything being Babymetal, while also at the same time
Yeah.
Bloodywood doesn't sacrifice being Bloodywood in any way. They both complement themselves really well, which is why this collab is one of my personal favorites, because I feel like you get the best of Babymetal here as well doing their parts, whilst also Bloodywood doing them. And you've got to remember when you come into this song as well, this is a Bloodywood song featuring Babymetal, not Babymetal coming
Yeah.
into Bloodywood.
Exactly.
So there's gonna be lots of people going, "No, there's not enough Babymetal," but you know, this is a song featuring Babymetal, not with them predominantly. Would I like?
So there is a distinct difference between featuring and X.
Yes,
Yeah.
X is like
Okay.
more of a
This is
collab.
a feature.
Featuring is like This is Bloodywood, probably through and through, featuring Babymetal having a part.
But it's
What
interesting because to me, I would say compared to Ratatata with Electric Callboy, that to my ears feels a lot more than a typical Electric Callboy song than BEKHAUF feels to be a typical, yeah, Bloodywood song. I'm not really familiar with Bloodywood. That's why it's hard to tell. But
No,
yeah,
Bloodywood do
what do
have
you
those.
think about that? Because I feel like it's kind of has a similar level of similarities in a way.
It does. It does. I'm gonna slightly disagree with you then. I actually think Ratatata sounds more like a electric callboy song than it does a Babymetal song for me personally.
Yeah, that's what I
I think
said
that's
as well.
what I think.
Oh,
that's
is that what
Benedict
you're trying to
said,
say?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, this is exactly the same. This is more like distinctly Bloodywood more than Babymetal.
Then it's weird that Ratatata is an X feature and BEKHAUF is a feature.
I think that comes down more to do with like, because Babymetal don't play their own instruments, that you're always going to get the band that have the instruments
Yeah,
in,
okay.
that are going to
Yeah.
distinctly, use their instruments, so to speak. So it's always going to sound a little bit more like them, I think, in that comparison when Babymetal does a collab with somebody, I think. Unless like I said, Babymetal does a collab with a rapper, in which case it just sounds shit. I'm never going to forgive them for that. That
Hey,
is the worst.
F Hero's a rapper. F Hero's a rapper.
Yeah,
They do
true.
their
Yeah, but
best.
he's a good one.
There we go. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we weren't besmirching the name of every rapper
They can
work
rap
with.
themselves too.
And
So-
moving on. BMC was a pretty decent. That was near enough a rap. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Sue's the
Ine
best
also.
rapper though. But
Okay.
yeah, I really enjoyed this. I love the collab. I feel like this is a great gateway. I think this is a win-win for everybody, because I feel like it's going to introduce a lot more people to Bloodywood. I think a lot of people that were maybe not give this to Bloodywood start off with, having Babymetal attached is like one of the biggest draws, crowd views, numbers ever. Like the fact that they even managed to get Babymetal on a song is like the greatest marketing thing I've ever known. It's incredible.
Okay, Howard, go for it.
All
Drag
right.
down this whole video.
No, actually, do you know what?
Folks, thanks for
I'm
joining in and keep you.
I'm going to slightly speed run this because I've been on a little bit of a journey in the last couple of days since I did my reaction to this. Because things when I did my reaction to this, I didn't know who. Well, I didn't think I knew who Bloodywood were, and then so some people might see my reaction, but I think my opinion's developed a little bit since then. I subsequently got a lot of people tell me, "Oh, okay, Bloodywood are this band." They reminded me, I'd seen some videos before them doing like the Indian style metal. And I remember at the time, although I wasn't like massively, oh, I love this, I was quite sold on the fact that, there'd been this whole thing for like 10 years where it was like, oh, check out, it'd be like a little clip, oh, check out this band who does Indian metal. And it would just be very standard metal, but someone's playing a sitar. But then I remember like the videos people showed me of Bloodywood before. I was like, oh, this was the one where it was actually good. They were actually integrating Indian music into their metal. So immediately I was like, okay, fond thoughts of that. Then I did a bit more research and I found out they were also the band who did the metal cover of Linkin Park's Heavy, a song which was very deliberately not heavy. And I remember at the time feeling quite bad about that. I felt like they'd undone something which was very deliberately not meant to be metal for a very clear reason. So I just, as I started to dig through, I realized actually I've kind of come across this band in positive and negative ways before. So I don't really have a huge opinion on them, but I do respect that they're very artistically, they seem to have a very good artistic ethic. I mean, I read something that apparently one of the members is got like a degree in law or something. So, they're clearly not a bunch of dummies either. So I did a lot of reading up, trying to go through the past and trying to catch up on who this band were. And so I got a basic vibe. But obviously, yeah, I'm not like a regular fan who's been listening to their music for a while. But having gone through all of that, I'm kind of in a bit of a weird space with this song, because with this song, I can take it or leave it. I'm not mad about it. It's like, it's pretty good. It rocks, but I would never go out of my way to get it. And I think this comes back to the core problem I have with it, which is that I just feel, and sorry, this is kind of the opposite of what Neon said, but I just feel like the best of no one is showing here. And the reason I say that is because I think that musically, Bloodywood have tried to, like Benedict says, I think they've tried to approximate Babymetal's sound. And they've done a pretty good job. They've written a song that sounds more like a Babymetal song than what I have come to at least realize or feel Bloodywood sound like. Maybe Bloodywood sound like this all the time, but none of the songs I'd heard from Bloodywood before kind of had this structure. So this felt like they were trying to approximate more of a Babymetal style arrangement, which is cool. But then that's more them doing that. If you actually look at what Babymetal do in this song, they are the feature artist in the most general way, in that basically Babymetal, I feel like they could just not be here and it wouldn't make much difference. I just really don't feel like I just feel like Babymetal's presence, that it's nothing about their presence feels massively like they are really leaving much of a stamp on this. And honestly, I was listening to it and the Babymetal bits didn't make me excited. It just felt like, okay, it's just female vocals. Didn't feel like they were using them. The song felt like it was approximating a Babymetal sound, but I'd much rather just hear Babymetal do it with all Babymetal vocals. And I think the end conclusion I came to is that I would have liked this to have been just, it's kind of hard because you can do this in many different ways, but I think if it was me, I would say more Babymetal vocals on there. Make it less of they just feature in some bits. Make it actually so there's a lot more of them, because it seems the main guy doing the growling, he's doing the vast majority of the work. And yeah, I'm a bit biased. I don't really like it. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't massively into that. The rapper guy was pretty cool. I liked what he did. He had a cool little rap section in, I think, the second verse, and the music nicely curved around that. But just nothing in here stood out. Like Babymetal's performance didn't stand out to me as like, oh yeah, that's so Babymetal. It was just like, that just could be any arbitrary female vocals in the background there. The song felt like an approximation of a Babymetal song, but not really any of the best things about a Babymetal song. The performance by Bloodywood felt good, but it didn't have any of the character of their more Indian sounding songs that, at least to me, had been like, wow, I really see you've got like a thing on. It just kind of felt like a mishmash of 5 out of 10s that didn't really, I walked away from this going, okay, it's pretty good, but there's just no wow factor for me in anything here.
In parts, I agree that this song kind of feels like they try to, but I feel like that's also what a collab should do, that they try to blend their style together and not have so much of their individual styles. But I personally really was looking forward and enjoying the baby metal parts in there. And also a reason for that is that there's so much, like arguably more of the guy's screaming voice in there. And obviously I would prefer more baby metal vocals in there too. But I really, I was I was banging to the rock, and I was already, before baby metal came in the first time, I was already looking forward to baby metal and thinking about the contrast of their vocals in that sound. And when it
Actually,
came in, it perfectly perfectly works for me, I have to
I
say.
just want to add one thing actually, because you kind of reminded me again of something that Neon said a moment ago, because he also drew the comparison with Show Them, the
Yeah.
Bandmade and the Warning song. I remember I was kind of, again, I'm not a big fan of the Warning. Again, kind of similar to Bloodywood. I don't really hate them. I respect what they do. It's just not something that I actively go out and check out regularly. So, if people want to discount my opinion on that, I totally respect it. But, looking at the Warning and Bandmade song, Show Them, I felt like it was pretty obvious when they did that what they were saying was, okay, look, this is not going to be, we haven't got time or whatever to do a song where we really get the best out of both of us. Let's just find out, what do we both do good? Okay, the Warning are good at really catchy sing-along choruses that pump up the audience. Bandmade are good at like throwing nuance into every little place and making it seem seamless. And it just felt like they basically got that together. It was a short little song. It had some nice little nuances in. It had a good punchy chorus. It wasn't the best song either band had done, but it kind of brought the best. It brought like a little bit of what we like about both bands out. You could kind of feel like they both had a little bit of impact on it. Whereas with this song, I've got to be honest, I mean, Babymetal were there. That's about it. They were there. And then you compare that to things like what they've done on other songs that they've appeared. I mean, I'm not comparing it to the Little Uzi Vert song. That was pretty awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the same way that their presence in the Little Uzi Vert song
But then,
felt rather arbitrary. To me, it just feels a bit arbitrary here. It's like,
may I
okay,
ask
but it could
then,
be any female vocal. It wouldn't.
what would you have like preferred from baby metal to say this is a better collab?
Again,
I mean,
I'd like to
this
remind
is,
you both that this is a feature and not a collab.
yeah,
So
no, but
Yeah, but
that is the
there is a
important thing.
distinctly difference
That
there.
is the important thing, though, is that like you've got to ask sometimes, like when someone says it features someone, and we said this before when we were talking about Babymetal collabs and featurettes. Sometimes when a band says, "Oh, it features this artist," you go, "Okay, so it's probably they're just kind of there." And a lot of the time we complained about featurettes. Sometimes you're almost like, "Well, why even bother?" For me, this one was on the line. It's like, yeah, okay, it was cool to hear Babymetal, and there was a bit of a contrast between voices, but it just didn't really feel like they were bringing anything to the song that any other female vocalist can do, because I didn't feel it played to their strengths. I just didn't feel like their strengths were played to in this song at all. So if I were to recommend a better way of doing it, I would just go in a totally different direction. I'd say, look, Bloodywood, sound more like Bloodywood, or at least again, from what I've heard of, throw in those more Indian aspects, make it a little bit more of a directly sort of bouncing, funky song, which goes in a direction that is different from what we usually hear from Babymetal. Go in a different direction, and then allow Babymetal to work in more of their vocals, doing more interesting and playful things. That's where I'd have gone with this. Because like I said, I didn't dislike this. I just kind of like, there was just a lack of wow to me. Just like nothing really made me go wow. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, it happened. It
to
worked.
me, the baby metal parts gave me a lot of wow.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
have
to
to
me,
say, I
But not
really
the
like
Bloodywood
I'm
parts.
really with Neon. No, also the Bloodywood parts. This song is a banger, I would say. I really enjoy this song a lot. I'm not sure if it's my favorite. It's really hard to compare. I also love like Kingslayer, for example. But yeah, it's one. I
I,
think it's definitely on the level with all the other
I,
features,
I,
collaborations,
I
or
think once you get more
X's.
into Bloodywood, I'll ask you this question again in like 2 months' time, and I'll be like, where does this song rank now for you? Because now you've opened the door to Bloodywood. I think especially you.
Yeah.
I think 2 months' time, and you'll come back to this song and you'll be like, yeah.
I mean, I'm already, yeah.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that it's like it just feels relatively. It's good. And this is kind of what I was saying at the end of my reaction. It's really hard to know what to say at the end of my reaction. So I was rounding up by saying,
Yeah,
look,
I think
it's just kind of like that's kind of
it's, I
the.
think
I
it's
feel
an
like
interesting
good.
question to ask, like, what do you really want from a collab or like X feature? However, let's leave that part out. But like, what do you want from two groups making a song together? Do you just want it to sound like them and, sorry, kind of meshing together their styles, and sometimes you have the sound of this group and sometimes you have the sound of this group, or do you want to
I
meld them together and have something new, you
I
know?
want to feel like
And I feel like BEKHAUF
whatever
feels like
whatever a
something new.
band whatever a band brings, however small it is, whether it be a feature or a collab, I want whatever that band brings to feel like something that only they could have brought. And don't get me wrong, Sue's voice has got a very distinct identity, but I just feel like what was being done with their voices here, it didn't feel like that had to be Babymetal. It felt like that could have been a number of other, sort of female-led or metal groups, or just female-led rock groups could have done that, and it wouldn't have made a significant difference because I just didn't feel like the song played to their strengths. And it's completely legitimate to say yes, it's just a featurette, but then I'd say okay, it's a featurette in a way that makes it kind of arbitrary. So for me, it's more like how would I rate this as a Bloodywood song? And I go, okay, yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it, pretty good. Just the featurette's more the bit where I'm like, I don't really know that did anything for me. As I came into this because I wanted to see what Babymetal were doing in it, and I left kind of like thinking, well, that Babymetal didn't do anything that made me particularly excited. So I'm more now just judging it as a Bloodywood song. Yeah, pretty good metal song.
In my opinion, the Babymetal feature is absolutely essential for the song. But Neon, help me out here.
I got your back, man.
He's not going to disagree.
Thank you.
I'm not going to disagree in this one. I think the Babymetal parts really made this. I kind of agree with Howard slightly where he says like it could be another artist doing those bits. Would it significantly change the song in any particular way? Probably not. But I would counter that by saying Babymetal do it better than pretty much like any of the bands that could have done those parts anyway. So like just having Babymetal on the track in any kind of capacity automatically,
it's a treat. Yeah,
it's a treat. It's like watching the old Marvel movies when they were good and they put a little Easter egg in there. You're like, get that, back when they were good.
But don't you feel like the chorus melody, it's really oozing Babymetal?
I feel like it's distinctly Babymetal. Really... I don't think it's like vintage in your face Babymetal, but there's enough Babymetal there that I'm like, this sounds like a Bloodywood song, and those bits sound like a Babymetal song.
Yeah.
In the few bits when they're not being growled over, so it just kind of feels like.
But again, Bloodywood song featuring.
Yeah, exactly. But again, that's a catch-22 because again, you're right. You're 100% right, which all the more makes their presence feel like it should have just been. It's like if you're going to have them there, just upgrade it to a full-on, two band thing. If you're going to have them there, do that. Just saying, well, like, it's a featurette and then having a very reduced part. That just feels to me like, okay, you can hide. Well, I'm not saying you, but anyone can hide behind that terminology, but it still doesn't erase the fact that it's like, well, then maybe we should have just had more of Babymetal on there.
I think this was the right amount. Like honestly, yeah. I feel like this flows as like you said as a Bloodywood song. Could you have more Babymetal in this collab and make them have like more of an impact? Yeah, 100%, totally. You could easily make them have more.
I actually read a lot of comments from people like saying that this is a good like 50-50 type collab. I wouldn't actually call it 50-50. I would like say
I would 40
Babymetal, something like that.
I would say about 60-40 as well. I'd say 60 Bloodywood.
But I wouldn't say it's just like, yeah.
I think there's enough.
A little part and nothing else.
I think there's enough here to warrant it. Again, going back to the Lucy bullshit song. I just that was one of those songs
he mentioned it.
Where I know I hate
scarred.
it. I'm fucking scarred for life.
I'll make you listen to that song.
Like, I listen to that song and I just think at the end of it, well, what's the fucking point? I don't get that with this song. I listen to this one and I feel like, all right, okay, there's enough.
That's kind of how I feel about this one, except the difference is I actually quite like this song. So I don't hate this song. I actually quite like it. It's just my feeling about the song and my feeling about its place as a collaboration and featurette are two very different things. My feeling about it as a song, pretty good. My feeling about it as a featurette, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if it really.
That's how I feel about the Bandmate Warning collab, because the song, yeah, it's okay, but it's like the individual stuff just sounds better, and together it doesn't sound as great as either of them. And
at
I
least
feel
on that song,
BEKHAUF sounds like a great combination for both of them.
I would
Even if
argue that there's
anyone
not.
takes a step back for this.
I would argue as well that there's not too much lack of baby metal in this song as compared to Ratatata and Kingslayer. Like you think of
We
Kingslayer
leave
and
leave it
Ratatata
all
and
behind.
leave it all
well,
behind.
Kingslayer,
They have very reduced parts there, but it's still enough.
Kingslayer would kind of agree. Yeah, I mean,
It's still
Kingslayer, I don't think.
Kingslayer is a Bring Me Horizon song for all I care. Like
Yeah, yeah, I
when I
kind of
think of
agree.
Kingslayer, I think it's a Bring Me song more than a Baby Metal song. When I
I
think
think you
of
could kind of compare Kingslayer the most to BEKHAUF from
probably
like the
could, yeah.
And I would
part
agree.
structure
That's
and
kind
how
of
they
why both.
blended. Yeah.
That's why Kingslayer I feel very similarly. Like I quite like the song, but I don't really listen to it as a Babe Metal song because Babe Metal's appearance in that to me again just kind of feels like Babe Metal. Kind of feel a bit tacked on in that. So it's like I
Again,
like
so
the
essential for me.
yeah, no, I think their presence is a little bit more essential in that song because they sing the chorus and it's very identifiably in their register, the chorus. Yeah, it's kind of so I do feel like it. I agree with Neon that it feels like Kingslayer is Babe Metal on a Bring Me the Horizon song, but I also think that maybe they're slightly more indispensable on that because they're singing the chorus in a certain register in a certain way that is probably harder to replace than I think their input into Bake Off. But yeah, I do have a similar feeling that both those songs I wouldn't really listen to them as part of a Babe Metal playlist.
No, I wouldn't
Whereas
either.
whereas something
I would
like
totally.
Leave It All Behind, Leave It All Behind, or Ratatata, I would listen more in a Babe Metal playlist just because I feel like what Babe Metal do is a little bit more dynamic. You hear like the use of all three members. It's got like a little bit more of their attitude and their personality is conveyed in their verses. And it kind of you get a little bit of the feeling of like the Babe Metal personality behind it as well. So yeah, those two songs I feel fit more into a Babe Metal playlist for me personally.
Yeah, I think it's coming in as well. Like we talk about expectations, and sometimes coming into collabs can be a bit of a tentative thing because you never know what the answer is or what the equation is, the secret formula to make it gel. Sometimes it could be, sometimes it can work, sometimes it can't. And I feel like in this song, again, I feel like it works just. Like I kind of agree. There could be more Baby Metal. They could be more prominent. I don't think they have the most prominent parts in this song at all. But for me, even with that knowledge coming in, I still love it. But then I know that I'm coming into this one slightly biased at the same time because I love Bloodywood and I love Baby Metal. So it's for me kind
But
of
I
like
mean,
coming in as a win-win. But that's not always the case. Hence, like I said, band made in the warning. I just because you love two great bands doesn't mean that they make a great song.
yeah.
But on this occasion, I feel like it's still a good, great song.
But I think that's really what it ultimately comes down to. Do you enjoy the song?
Yes.
And yes, very much. That's the
But
ultimate.
it's okay. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Feels like an album track to me. Feels like an album track.
There's still
Don't
one
dislike
aspect we haven't touched on at all, which is the music video, which I think we
Oh,
might talk about
I love
too,
that.
because we recently did a video about music videos, and that's kind of exactly what I want from music videos. It's
Yes.
not necessarily a worked out storyline. It's them fighting bad guys. Okay, I was already corrected on that. It's not just them fighting bad guys, it's them fighting like Indian god things. And at the end, you have like the elephant god thing with the samurai armor, Japanese and Indian culture combined. But just, yeah, that type of video, freaking amazing. This is probably one of the greatest videos I've seen the whole year. I just love
Yeah,
anime fight.
that's what I'm saying. Like if you can do a great song and accompany it with a great music video as well, it just sticks in your mind a lot more. And that's what this does.
Like, if I imagine we would have like a video like we leave it all behind, where you just see the band like standing around and playing their music on some CGI background, wouldn't have the same impact, man.
No, it wouldn't. It's a great use of. I feel like a lot of people are not only excited for the song, but they're going to watch it back as well to see like animated Sue Moa and
Howard is leaving
Momo
again.
50
He's
million.
disagreeing, apparently.
He's getting
How can you
outnumbered.
disagree on the music video?
Yeah, he's getting outnumbered, so he's like, oh, I'm going to flee
No, I
while I
get that
can.
he doesn't like the song too much because it's too much screaming. But Howard,
I didn't
Tell
say
us.
that. Hey, I didn't say that.
Yeah, that's what you were insinuating.
That's what
No,
you
no,
think.
that's what you were inferring. That's what you're inferring. That's not what I was implying.
Prove
Tell
us
us,
wrong.
Howard, what is wrong with the music video?
The music, I mean, the music video, kind of similar thing again. There's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good. I didn't think it was like amazing or anything. I kind of prefer, but no, but I mean, look, I mean, for
Like
me,
99% of times you get the typical, you see the group playing at some
okay,
location.
yeah, but like you're
then you
making
get
it sound
something
like
like
there's only
this.
two types. You're making it sound like there's only two types of music video. Look, for me,
Well,
the
it's
thing
the
about
thing you get the most. I think that's a fact.
yeah, I know, but I mean, like, it's not. There's not only two types of music video. I mean,
No,
there's actually
of course not.
There's a lot of animated music videos out there as well. I mean, when it comes to this one, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it especially was good towards the end when it ramped up. I think when it ramped up at the end, it was pretty good. I think the first half of the music video was a little bit, and it felt a little bit like it was a bit meandering, like cool imagery, but I didn't really get what was going on. And then at the end, it started, you see them team up and it's kind of got this cool energy, reminded me a little bit of Unleashed by Bandmade. I kind of like that exploding feel. But I mean, again, one of the reasons why Unleashed from Bandmade works so well is that it cuts between the various things. It's got a little bit of it's got a little bit going. I think a video that's entirely animated without any performance. Yeah, I do miss the performance, to be honest. I miss seeing the actual physical movements of the human beings. I would much rather have, personally, I'd much rather have something where it's like really zany, but includes the actual people than just have the people replaced by animation. But then again, it's not, I didn't dislike this. It's just like, you're sort of saying best video of the year. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I think it's great for like a one-off thing, like to animate like the girls and stuff like that, and to have like Bloodywood animated for a one-off music video. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, if they kept doing that over and over and over, then it would get a bit like
exactly.
It would. I think the sheen of it would disappear.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I think if this cut between, I mean, like again, you can see this in your head a various way, and you can see it in a good way or a bad way, and it's all subjective. But to me, in a way, I think if it had somehow cut between some sort of really cool setup of something in reality and then cutting to this sort of larger than life, insane, sort of animated world, that would have been really cool, because as well, we'd have been able to get to see the personality of the girls. I mean, the funny thing is that if you look at like the video to Ratata, that's not especially a great video. The video to Ratata, it's a fairly standard video, but the one thing that really stands out is the actual girls. Their personalities really shine on the screen. And I think we're in this era at the moment where Babymetal seem to be more free than ever to really express their personalities. So yeah, I want to see a lot of Babymetal as well, and you're going to have larger than life animation mixing that with the real world footage. I think would have been optimum. But again, this is just kind of like
the reason I brought it up is because I think I read there was a time, I don't know how long ago, where it was actually more common to have like animated music videos like that, but it kind of died off because it was just too expensive. And I think also this music video was made in a studio in India, like an animation studio in India, because it wasn't affordable to do in Japan. So I'm kind of really happy to see this coming up again and to be so successful, because I really think this could like change the landscape in a certain direction. Not to say every video should be an anime fight, but I really like this video, and I really feel this video also perfectly fits the song, the lyrics, the vibe, the energy.
It does seem to go quite well with the energy of the song. I think towards the end more than at the beginning. But yeah, towards the end, definitely it starts to like really ramp up and feel.
The breakdown with the demon coming up, it's so metal.
It's so good, it's so good. Well, that's what I mean. Even the music video itself, the animation, as a fan of animation, I mean, that just tickles my pickle in all the right ways, really, with the music and the animation.
Pickle.
What grinds my gears? What grinds my gears? And that is what grinds my gears.
I've definitely come off as the bad guy in this episode, so I'm gonna.
Yeah. You're gonna have to grow like an evil twirly mustache or something now for the next week.
No, it's like this is the interesting thing, and I said this actually in my reaction as well. Is the weird thing is that I actually kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the video, I enjoyed the song, but I'm gonna come off as the bad guy because I get the feeling this is one of those ones where it comes out, you just know Bloodywood, Babymetal, people are going to be like, fucking yes, hyped as anything. And being the one person who's just like, it was okay, that's enough to damn you. And it's like, even that is just because I'm not like super hyped. Benedict's like, best video of the year. And you guys are like, brings out the best of both artists. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's
like, for the comments,
evil bastard.
I agree with
evil
Benedict.
Howard needs more joy in his life.
I've got plenty of joy in my life, all right? I got plenty of joy in my life. So I don't need to be shouted at to have joy in my life. I'll have you guys.
Sorry, what?
Said Howard, be happy.
I'm happy. I've got plenty of things to be happy about.
Why are you leaving now? We have 4 minutes left.
He's a miserable old guy.
Yeah.
That's right. Look, all in all, I really love this. I think it's a treat from both bands. I hope you really get into Bloodywood as well.
Yeah.
I literally just linked you to 2 videos I want you to react to from Bloodywood. I think
check them out.
I think you'll love it, man.
I kind of was wondering, do you think Babymetal will release some type of, I'm not sure if you could call it an album, but some type of release where they will feature all of their features? Because I was wondering, they did so many, they could have their next album be just a complete feature album, for example.
I don't think that will ever happen, but it would be an interesting premise, to be honest. And like I said, the songs that they feature on with the F Hero is an F Hero song.
And this is a Bloodywood song, and
this is a Bloodywood song.
Called by that's an X.
Yeah. It's too much. They'd like to feature more than have a direct 50-50 impact or collab. What I would like to see is if Babymetal do an X collab thing. Then I think obviously you need the writing team of whoever writes Babymetal songs, whether it's the Cammy band or whatever, to come in to create the music and then have somebody else feature. I would say if you're looking at a more Babymetal sound than anybody else, the Jakim song, I forgot its name now. Na 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 na.
You're right.
But
the Babymetal the song is, but the guy from Sabaton.
Omar Dinai.
Omar Dinai, there we go. Thank you. My brain was farting at that. I was like, the song is playing in my head and I cannot remember the name. But yeah, Omar Dinai. I know Omar Dinai is a great example of a Babymetal song featuring Sabaton singer, featuring Rakim, rather than the other way around. So
I'm inclined to agree with Howard here.
So
Omar Dinai, it's definitely my least favorite collab song.
Look, I never asked.
Anyways, we have 1.5 minutes. I wanted to ask you one thing
before we leave off. Places that are going to get me in trouble.
Shut up, Howard. I want to ask.
Yes.
What is the next collab, or which collab are you looking for that we didn't get so far? And I will throw in my first one because I thought before we get Bloodywood, which I didn't hear before, we will get what is the band Metalocalypse band Death Clock. Death Clock. I thought we will get that, but not yet. But I would love to hear it.
Possibly. So I mean, they did tour with them, didn't they? For a little bit in America.
That's why I thought. So what other groups?
What groups should I would see? Maybe not my personal favorite because I'm running out of time for bands, but I would love to see Trivium with Babymetal just because of Matt Heffy obviously being Japanese. I just feel like they could do an interesting twist there. But if I had to go for one of the all-time metal gods, I would say Metallica. Could you imagine the hype between Metallica and Babymetal?
Or Rammstein? Could you imagine the show?
Oh, Rammstein, yeah, Rammstein would be another great one. But I'd say probably Rammstein would be a visual treat, and I think Metallica would be a audio treat.
Yeah.
So it depends what kind of collab you want to go to, but imagine the insane hype for a Rammstein or a Metallica collab. That would be amazing. What about you, Howard?
I'd say remember to keep your ears to the east.
He's getting out of that one, isn't he?
Babymetal for good reason.